Lightning Reed. Some people dislike it, and others, like me, love it. Now you might be wondering why people dislike it. I mean, it can literally hit multiple zombies at once, and it looks cool. But for the power to hit multiple targets, it trades off its damage, making it awful against tanky zombies such as gargantuars and bosses. But what if I was to upgrade it to max level, where its damage is literally 6 times higher than normal? Would it still struggle? Well, let's find out. But before we begin, let me quickly go over the rules. Only Lightning Reed, no power-ups or Zen Garden, skip all levels that force the use of another plant, pre-placed plants are fine, and lastly, coins earned throughout the challenge can be used to buy plant food, but no replaying levels to farm coins. Okay, let's begin. Like usual, if the plant is half decent, it'll easily wipe Ancient Egypt, and that's exactly what happened. So here are all the levels at once. While these play out, I can quickly explain to you the basic strategy behind Lightning Reed if you're unfamiliar. You want to start off by placing one Lightning Reed each in both of these lanes, preferably in the back, because this placement allows the Lightning Reeds to cover all 5 lanes since they can attack in their own lane and adjacent lanes. That's all there really is to the strategy, and with that, all of Ancient Egypt was beat. Ancient Egypt was actually so easy that I wanted to add a challenge within the challenge for Pirate Seas. Can 2 Lightning Reeds solo the entirety of Pirate Seas? And as the first level plays out, I'll show y'all the stats of the max level Lightning Reed. Its sun cost goes from 125 to 50 sun. The recharge stays the same at 5 seconds. The health increases from 300 to 900. The damage again increases from 10 to 60. And of course, you can multiply this damage by the number of zombies the Lightning Reed ends up hitting. And just like that, the first level was pretty easily beat using only 2 Lightning Reeds. Day 2, we get the same exact result as no tanky zombies have been involved yet. Same with day 3. Day 4 gets a little spooky as some bucket heads are sent in, and they actually make it further than expected. But as I had some plant food stocked up, I let this bottom lane bucket think it was the main character, and then at the last second hit him with the Wrath of Zeus. Day 5 sent in even more bucket heads, but as they were mainly in the middle lanes, both of the Lightning Reeds were able to team up and easily take him down. Same exact situation on day 6. Day 7 threw a curveball with the barrel roller, who I originally thought would be the scariest, but the roller ends up dying because of the Lightning Reed's multi-hit, and then leaves the barrel sitting there with no pusher, in return making them an easy enemy, and we beat day 7. Day 9 was definitely the scariest level so far, as most of the pressure was put on the top lane Reed. It handled itself pretty well up until the very last zombies, who I could have plant fooded defeat, but as lawnmowers are allowed, I just let them handle it. Day 10 was much easier as the tanky zombies were middle lane focused. There were also imp cannons, which the cannons themselves are pretty tanky, but as they stay in the back, they aren't too difficult to deal with. Day 11 was an easy level. Day 14, I got too excited about it being a prep your defenses level that I forgot about the 2 Lightning Reed rule, so I prepped some defenses. Day 15, we had to protect some flowers, and we did it easily. Day 16 is always an exciting level, but if it was possible with potato mines, it's 100% possible with Lightning Reeds. Day 17, the situation shifted a little, as this parrot yoinked one of my Lightning Reeds. But thankfully, this was the last wave of zombies, and I used my plant food to destroy all the unreachable zombies. The lawnmowers could have done the job as well,
but I wanted to end them with my own hands.
Day 22, again, prep some defenses. Day 23 was theoretically the most impossible looking level so far because of these flowers being so far forward, but for some reason the game doesn't send any tanky zombies, so it ended up being one of the most simple levels. Day 24, I learned something new, and it was that the parrot tries to go for the spring bean, but then the spring bean ducks down, which makes the parrot do a 180 and go back to the zombie. This makes the spring bean a little better in my mind, but only a little. It's still awful because I ended up dying to these imps. On the second attempt, however, I made sure to use all my plant food, which helped the Lightning Reeds beat the level by themselves. And that was basically every level in Pirate Seas beat with only 2 max level Lightning Reeds. Pretty impressive. Next up, the Wild West. We'll be speeding past most of the Wild West, as again, it wasn't really interesting, and without the 2 reed limitation, most levels were just easily beat. Oh, we're gonna make a little stop here on day 14, just to see all the chickens get fried for the pain they put me through last time. Feels good. feels good. Back to speeding. Not much to say either, besides that the bulls in the Wild West weren't too scary, but for some reason they amp up a little bit when we get to modern day, making them much scarier. And here we are. If you remember, I mentioned bosses in the intro, and this one we fight because a lightning reed shows up in the conveyor belt. The only problem is that there are 6 other plants in the conveyor belt as well, making the chances of me getting the lightning reed 1 in 7. And luck did not seem to be on my side, because after placing the first reed, the second one took a whole 30 seconds. And in that 30 seconds, I lost a lawnmower and only did this much damage to the final boss. Because again, lightning reed is awful against high health enemies. But thankfully the 3rd and 4th reeds came in at an okay pace, but then the boss hit me with this. And in this situation, all I could do was plant food and save one of the reeds, which I was able to, but the reed actually has a very small plant food animation, so my timing had to be pretty spot on. And feeling a little overwhelmed by everything that had just happened, I completely forgot to keep planting and shoveling plants to leave room for new reeds. And this was basically the end of this attempt because the boss pulled out the rocket move again, and I saved the one that didn't have a lawnmower behind it. And as a guard was approaching, I panicked and spam bought 2 plant food to potentially take it out, but sadly I was too late and it took out the reed, breaching the house, meaning I just wasted 2,000 coins as well. But this didn't feel completely impossible, so I gave it another attempt. Again, the pace we were getting the reeds was atrocious, and as I finally got down 3 reeds, the boss pulled out this move again, forcing me to save only 1 again. And stupidly, I thought, oh, it's already done me dirty, it won't do it again, right? Wrong. It sent rockets into these 4 tiles, and you might be thinking, well, that isn't bad because it isn't hitting the lightning reed, and you'd be correct because that's exactly what I thought as well. So I quickly shifted my focus to the full conveyor belt to make some more room, but as I was distracted, the 4 rockets dropped, and just as it dropped, the boss snuck in a singular rocket right onto my reed, which I didn't notice at all because it was so well timed and hidden. And so this took out this reed, and I managed to get another one, but as Zomboss sent a wave of Gargs to take my mowers, and then another wave of Gargs to take me down, this level was starting to feel a little less possible, but still not impossible. So I tried again, and for some reason, this attempt was so different from the previous 2. I was getting the reeds at a pretty good pace, as well as the rockets were taking out any of my defenses, and just like that, the boss was surprisingly beat. Frostbite Caves, Lost City, and Far Future were so embarrassingly easy that I'll be super speeding past all of them. While we breeze through these, I'll quickly ask, if you're enjoying the video so far, consider subscribing. Only about 4% of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so it'd be a big help if you did. It's free and you can always unsubscribe. And that was all of those. Next up, the Dark Ages. Night 1 starts, and normally I use Gold Bloom to supplement Sun since none falls naturally, but I had a thought. Would it be possible to beat Dark Ages without the need of a Gold Bloom? Because most levels have Sun Graves, and even if they don't, we still have 100 Sun to work with. This is where the ultimate challenge for Lightning Reed came in. Could it beat Dark Ages without the use of a Gold Bloom and only 2 Lightning Reed per level? This level, I started off by placing too many as the challenge hadn't come to mind, but right as it did, I shoveled the extra reeds. The toughest zombies this level were Coneheads, so I beat them with 0 problem. Night 2, you'll notice that I was still bringing in Gold Bloom as I had no faith in Lightning Reed to complete this challenge. Night 2 had some Bucketheads who were dealt with using plant food. Same with Night 3, 5, and 6. Night 7, however, threw in a tankier zombie into the mix, the Knight, who was sent in pretty low numbers this time, so the plant food abilities were still enough. Night 9, things escalated as speed and health potions were introduced, and everything was fine for most of the level. Then right before the final wave was about to be sent in, this Knight caught 2 speed potions, and I plant fooded to save my reed, but the Cloud had other plans, and the Knight ate my reed within seconds, taking my lawnmower. And now we had the final wave to deal with, using only this 1 lightning reed. Thankfully, the game decided to make this the least threatening final wave ever, and perfectly, all the zombies were lined up for my reed to hit them all. And even more perfectly, the lane with no lawnmower was dealt a Conehead who was easily beat, and with that, Night 9 was surprisingly beat. Night 11 was another crazy one because it starts with this gravestone in the back, and I was actually wrong in the last video when I said the sun graves don't spawn zombies, because someone in the comments told me that they actually do spawn them. So this was number 1 priority to get rid of, and I could have just put a reed adjacent to the grave and then shovel and replant the reed, but that didn't feel right, so I went with the option of waiting till there were only a few zombies on screen and then plant food the reed, praying that the Cloud hit the grave, which it did. And just as I thought I was safe, Night 11 sends another menace, the Wizards, who basically had a free pass to sheepify both of my reeds, forcing me to let the lawnmowers deal with this wave of zombies. And then as upcoming waves brought wizards, I was just using my plant foods to deal with them. And then the final wave sent a wizard in every lane. And I won't lie to y'all, these wizards rage baited me hard enough, taking into account all the previous previous plant solos that I completely threw out the 2 read challenge from this point forward. And now the only challenge remaining was the no gold bloom one. So let's see if that's still doable. Night 12 made us protect these puff shrooms and gave us too many plant foods, so it's very easily beat. Night 15, I prepped some defenses. Night 16 was another tough one, as the knights produced by the kings protected these annoying wizards, letting them sheepify basically all of my reads. So I was forced to mower launch this lane, so some of my lightning reads would be freed, and with this, we beat Night 16. The start of Night 17 was pretty satisfying with these gravestones, and it was beat with the army of reads. Night 19 was the last level of the Dark Ages, and these magnet shrooms were pretty easily defended as they heavily helped the reads by magnetizing the helmets off the zombies. That was all the Dark Ages without the need for gold bloom. Next up, Neon Mixtape Tour and Jurassic Marsh. I'm super speeding through these two as well because again, they're very easy, especially Neon Mixtape Tour. Jurassic Marsh had like 2 levels in the entire world that took 1 lawnmower each, and the rest felt like nothing. And that was all of those 2. Next up, the Big Wave Beach and Modern Day. With these last 2 worlds, I'll only be showing you the few interesting levels that I came across and not mentioning the others to save us all some time. If you're interested in seeing the other levels, I'll be posting the full gameplay of this on my second channel, Perpetualer Prince. I know, very creative name. But anyways, Big Wave Beach had this day 15, which includes the snorkel zombies and potato mine ready to explode, which we have to defend. And the normal lightning reed can't hit the snorkel zombie when it's underneath, but luckily its plant food can. So I was actually able to beat this level pretty easily by spamming plant food. There was day 23 in which we protect these banana launchers, and it's a little scary because the fishermen stay way in the back, which protects them from lightning reeds in most situations. So I was using the banana launchers to take care of them, and with that, day 23 was beat. Day 30 also has the same concept as day 23 and can be a little suspenseful, but it was also beat. Modern Day has day 18 in which these bulls make it really far and then launch their imps right into the lawnmowers, which was a little scary, but after this, the level got pretty easy. Day 30 of Modern Day was probably the most butt-clenching level because it was already extremely scary in the early stages of the level with the constant bombardment of high-class zombies. And as we reached the end, this Garg was the only thing left, with me being basically out of sun and the recharge not really favoring me, allowing the Garg to just smash the reeds and make a path. But it paused for a second to launch the imp it was carrying. I completely ignored the imp and heavy focus on the Garg, but it just kept pushing through. And just as I was out of sun and couldn't plant any more reeds, and also I couldn't launch this mower because I'd used my mower launch on this early Garg, I thought it was over. But then out of nowhere, this mower drove across the lawn, defeating the Garg. I was confused, but then remembered there was an imp launch that triggered the mower perfectly, which saved me. And that was basically all the challenging levels of Modern Day. And as the last day plays out, let's look at how many levels the Lightning Reed lost to. And it was 0. Yep, Lightning Reed was able to beat every level it was put up against. Pretty impressive. Now, does this make it a good plant? Well, I don't know. That's up to you to decide. Okay, bye-bye.